What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, here to take a look at your PlayStation Plus games for August 2021. You guys just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel. 3 games coming out this month, slightly different format than in the previous months where we had a dedicated PlayStation 5 game along with some other PlayStation 4 and 5 games. This time we're going all across the board here. Whether you got a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, fear not, you're gonna have something to play. Looking at this lineup, it's definitely one of the weakest ones I've seen this year. I do have a playlist of all of the other videos that's in the description below, so if you want to see some of the other titles we had and kind of compare them, do that. But I can tell you guys, as of somebody who's been doing this obviously every month for quite a while, this is definitely not the strongest lineup they've had. We've got Hunter's Arena Legends, we've got Plants vs. Zombies, The Battle for Neighborville, and we've got Tennis World Tour 2. All these titles will be available to play starting August 3rd, 2021. The official blog just shows a couple screenshots of all of them. I'm going to jump over to the Metacritic page here in just a second so you can actually see the scores on 2 of the 3 games which have released. And I can give you some of my impressions on the other game that I played that isn't out quite yet, which is Hunter's Arena Legends. Now, I got a chance to play this as an closed beta a couple weeks ago, and I have to say it was not that fun. I was not really enjoying it too much. And I think we have a little bit of a video here we can kind of take a look at together while this is while I kind of talk over it. So Hunter's Legends, Hunter's Arena Legends, it is a kind of cross between a third-person combat game, think along the lines of like a God of War game or something along like that, crossed in with a battle royale type game where you're going to drop into a map. It's going to be a smaller setting though. It's not going to be like the Modern Warfare 150 players. It's going to be a much more intimate affair. I think it's like 30 players or 40 players. And you're going to be fighting against not only other humans, but actual waves of monsters as well that are scattered around the world. Now, as you kill monsters and beat them, you will gain powers and items and stuff that will make your combat easier. This is also a great opportunity for other players, though, to gank you. So while you're walking around fighting a monster trying to level up, surely somebody's going to come by and hit you in the back of the head and try to take all your hard work, get that last hit in, take the treasure that you just earned, and move on. Now, as a result of that, you know, I have to say, it just kind of bums me out because it just didn't feel right. It's just, maybe because it's an online thing, maybe because the tick rate was high, I'm not entirely sure, but what I can say is that in playing through this game, I was definitely really disappointed by how it felt, and it just doesn't look as pretty as I think it should. I know it's a cross-play game between PS4 and PS5, but it just reminds me of kind of a generic type of fighter. There are different abilities that you can unlock, there are different weapons you can unlock, and it's supposed to lead up to these epic battles between you and the final players who have upgraded all of their powers. But the reality is, when you look at a game like this, it just doesn't really feel that way. It just never felt like something that blew me away. But maybe it's something you'll be interested in, and if you are, that launches on PlayStation Plus day and date with the paid version for, I guess, anybody on other platforms who don't have it. Moving on, we have Plants vs. Zombies, The Battle for Neighborville. Now, I actually did enjoy this game quite a bit. This, to me, is the shining light of anything that's coming out this month for PlayStation Plus. This is your traditional Plants vs. Zombies third-person shooter where you select different animals. You know, you select the different types of plants or zombies. They're all like themed. So you have plants that have different abilities. Like you could be the chain chomp type of plant that sneaks underground to one-shot kill people. You have the sunflower, which is like a buff. You have the pea shooter, which is just kind of your standard. Over on the zombie side, if you're familiar with the game, there's different types of zombies there. You have soldiers, mad scientists, crazy plumber-looking dudes, football players. What makes this game so interesting is that it includes kind of this hub world, which is the Neighborville. And when you're loading up the game, there is this open kind of area you can explore. There's little treasures that are hidden around. There's a persistent battle fighting in the middle of the field, so you can kind of fight against other players, kind of learn your skills and everything. It isn't just match-based. I think that was the big push of this game. In previous Plants vs. Zombies games, like Garden Warfare, the first one, it was very meticulous in terms of like, you're loading a match, here's the match, when you're done, that's it. Go back to the loading screen. Here in Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, you do have this open world element, which does make the game feel a little more live and dynamic. I enjoyed it. I played it a lot on Xbox. I would definitely play it again with my friends if they were interested in playing with me. It's got a lot of little, I don't want to say microtransactions. It does have microtransactions, but you will be able to upgrade the character you want. If you play enough, you'll be able to buy packs using funny money to get the characters, the upgrades, the aesthetics you want, and have fun with it. And now that it's coming back to PlayStation Plus, there should be a surge of new players coming in, so it should be a little bit easier to find a match. Lastly, we have Tennis World Tour 2. This was a disaster of a game. It's got a 56 score on Metacritic. It is just a run-of-the-mill, very basic tennis game that just isn't a whole lot of fun. Tennis as a whole is one of those sports that, not to say they don't make fun games, but they're difficult to pull off. I think back to like way back when in the Super Nintendo days, the tennis games there, and they were very basic. You had like a basic button for like backspin, you had a basic button for a fast shot, you had a basic button for a lob. It really just came down to positioning where you were on the ball. As games advanced and we started getting more into 3D space, you had to start considering like, is there a chance that you swing your racket and you go under the ball? So they're trying to figure out like, well, maybe we should increase, almost like a baseball game, should it be behind the camera behind the view, so you can use the analog stick to aim up and down to get a better hit on the ball. To me, tennis just never really took off as a video game franchise. And I never really saw that as something that was a whole lot of fun to play. And clearly, this game getting a 56 on Metacritic kind of implies that as well, that it just didn't really take off. Not to say it doesn't look great. I mean, it's okay. It's just that it doesn't really do anything particularly well. It has a lot of bugs to it. It just never felt right. I did actually play this before, and I don't remember where I played it at. It must have been on Game Pass or something, because it was one of those games that I installed and it just looked like it could be interesting, and I think within 2 or 3 minutes I realized it was just a total throwaway of an experience. So ultimately, to me, Hunter's Arena Legends is not a very good experience. I didn't have a whole lot of fun with it. Tennis World Tour 2 absolutely tanked in Metacritic. I think it's a game you're going to largely avoid. And Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. That is actually, I think, the shining light here of this particular lineup of games. Have to say this is a kind of weak month for Sony, and it's kind of sad. They just announced the 10 millionth PlayStation that was sold. So you'd think there's a lot of momentum and hype going for PlayStation 5 and people getting their hands on stuff. And then they followed up with this one. This is just kind of a lackluster announcement. I knew eventually over time things would definitely diminish, and it seems like that is the day now. It seems like August is going to be kind of a slow month for gaming. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.